Hey there you guys, welcome back. Today I was asked to do a little bit of an update on what type of grow lights I'm using in my grow space. So just an all-around what's happening in the grow light situation. Maybe a little bit of what I like best, what's working best for me. Yeah, so I'll take you around. We'll try to make this as quick as possible. It's a great time because now that it's almost Black Friday, you might find some deals on Amazon for the Black Friday deals, or just in the hardware store. There's plenty of options out there for grow lights. It doesn't have to be terribly expensive, but just a few things to know. It depends on what your needs are and how much you wanna do. Anyway, let's go check it out. Let's see what I'm using, and hopefully I can remember some of the names. If I can't remember the names of some of these grow lights, that's cool. I'll just tell you about them and show you what they look like, because there's a lot of different options. Many of these things are made in China, and there's a lot that look the same and do the same thing, but just of different names. And the price points are anywhere from between, I don't know, $25 all the way up to a couple of $100s. So, and if I know specifically if there is an Amazon link that I have or know of, I'll place that in the the description below. Just in case there's something that you like, check down there. Maybe it's there, but I'll try to find as many of the links as I can. I can't give you everything. And remember, I'm in Canada, so I might be able to find Canadian links more than .com links or other countries. So you might just have to try to search from what I give you. Anyway, let's get to it and see what's happening. I got lights on my eyes. It's wonderful. I feel like I should tan down here. Okay, so there's my little jungle in the middle of the floor. I've been removing leaves. They've been dropping a bunch of leaves, and that's okay. They're still acclimating to inside. Obviously, they prefer to be outside, but they're in here. They are going to be on a slow decline until spring, and I'm okay with that. They much prefer to be outside. So anyway, this one here is an interesting one. I really like this one. This one I would suggest if you have highlight plants, like a foliage plant. It's not going to do well for anything that flowers or that produces fruit, but I've had good success with succulents, cactus, and other highlight plants. They don't grow like crazy. I guess this isn't a really full spectrum. It has a lot of white light, as you can see, but it doesn't have a lot of the red and blue spectrum, but it's a really nice bright light. So I found that under this particular light, it doesn't cause things to stretch over the winter time, which is really, really nice, and sometimes you need that for a cactus or succulent. So this is a 4-foot long, it looks like a shop light, but as you can see, it's all LEDs in here. I believe it's a really bright one. I think it's like a 500-foot candle when you're a few inches away, or 5,000-foot candle when you're a few inches away. It's really, really bright. So fantastic. Again, it's not the fullest spectrum. There is some blue, there is some red, but in comparison to other light units, it is not as high in those spectrums. It's very full. So that just really helps with the brightness. I have a shop light up here. This is an LED shop light. I usually have that over the table. The potting table was right here, but I just didn't move it. It just helps with the ambient light. So that's on a timer as well, but that one's not actually a grow light, and that's okay. Light is light. These ones here, I bought these a few years ago. These are basically gigantic. They're 4 feet long by about 2 feet across, and they're supposed to have 8. It's like a fluorescent tube, a T5, I believe, fixture. This came with LED light strips, or light tubes, in a full spectrum. I don't like these as much. These, okay, I really like them, but I didn't like that the ballast, after 2 years, the ballast in the center has stopped working, so I need to figure out how to change a ballast. And it wasn't just one. I think this particular light fixture cost me $200 or $300. So it was quite pricey, and this particular one right here cost me about $150. So they're very similar in prices. This one here, I can replace the bulbs individually if the ballast worked. And that's cool. I can switch them to a regular fluorescent, or I could buy the LEDs again. So the funny thing is, like I said, the ballast doesn't work for the central 4. So I only have 2 working, 4 lights working, 4 of them are not working. The lights themselves work. I've tried them just to make sure that it wasn't just one bulb out and it was a circuit that wasn't being completed. But I need to figure out how to take this apart and, like I said, change the ballast. But the thing that I didn't like, let's go over here. The other one that I have, I bought 2 of these a few years ago, and same issue. The same ballast is not working. So that's a real big pain in the butt. I don't want to have to replace these that often. So anyway, I might end up switching them out with an LED panel light. You'll see my selection in the future, but we'll see how it goes. I'd like to have more light under here. As you can see, the alocasias, they would prefer a little bit more light, but these are okay. I think that these are giving off about 500-foot candles at about a foot away from the plant, so it's not terrible, but it's not great. And then in the grow tents, you've seen this before. Here we've got the Mars Hydro TS1000. This is the dimmable one, and this is where I keep my Hoyas and a bunch of other things, but it's mostly Hoyas, and it's super bright. I really like this one. This might be a little overkill for this small tent, but maybe a 3x3 would be perfect for the TS1000, as the footprint for that is a maximum of 3 foot by 3 foot to get the best growth. I really enjoy these particular lights because they are completely full spectrum. You've got the IR lights as well. You got some red, you got some blues, you got some. It's just a full spectrum, all around great light. So that is that one. And then in the other grow tent, this is the SP150. You've seen this one in other videos as well by Mars Hydro. I really enjoy this one. I think that in this 2 foot by 4 foot grow tent, I really should have 2 grow lights. The plant's down at the very, very bottom here, underneath this shelf. It goes way down. The plants under here aren't doing so great. I think that it's not enough light and a little bit too much water, because when I water these plants, the water drips down to those plants down below, and then it drips down to the ones below. So low light, high water levels, and yeah. So I think I need to put another grow light in here just to increase the light levels to make everything happy. And I noticed this today. I know this isn't a flower video, but this little Cattleya orchid is blooming. I didn't even realize that there was more buds. So this particular Cattleya, I love it. It's just a prolific bloomer for me. It blooms probably twice a year anyway. This is probably the 3rd time this year that it has produced buds. So it's really, really happy. I need to repot it. That will happen in a couple of days, I'm sure. I've been in a repotting mood. Winter isn't the best, but you know what? When you have time, do it, because you might not have time again. So then over here I've got the begonias growing here in the aquarium. They seem to be doing really, really well in here. They've got a window, and this window gets some nice morning sun, maybe early afternoon sun. And so since it gets some light, I've got this particular grow light. This is a cheaper grow light. I think this one was $30 or $40 on Amazon. This is a very generic one. It has that Blurple color, so it's not very pleasing to your eye. So if you have another light source that's a natural light source, and then you supplement with one of these, you're not going to notice the crazy color on your eyes as much as if it's your only source of light. If this is your only source of light, it's going to be uncomfortable for you just in the day-to-day if you're just hanging out around your house. But if it's just a supplemental light and it doesn't really affect the overall ambient light in your home, then it's perfect. It really gives the perfect spectrum of light for the plants to take up, and it does really, really well. And for the price point, you could buy a few of these and have a really nice grow-op going on. I wouldn't recommend this for anything that's really high light, but if you're just basic foliage plants, I don't know, your aeroids, it would be perfect. I've got begonias growing in here, and the begonias are doing beautifully. The colors are all distorted because of the light itself, so you need to pull these out. I just pulled this one out. This is a Rex begonia, and I think I brought it in. It had 2 leaves. Let me move it around see the color difference. And this begonia is doing beautifully. I'm so happy with it. I usually kill begonias within weeks, and this one has been inside for a few months, and it's growing beautifully. So this light I really enjoy. I'll probably get a couple more of these just to have, because they're very low wattage. I think they're like a 25 watt power consumption, and because it really focuses on the spectrum that the plants use, it doesn't need to be super bright. So then we've got another one of those LED lights like I showed you over top of the tall plants. Again, I've got some succulents growing. It's so bright that you can barely even make out the plants, but I've got my my succulent plants in here, and a Amphiporphalis that's going dormant, and they don't seem to stretch. And as you can see, there's is it a Buca or Abusa spiralis, the frizzle sizzle back in there, and the leaves are all frizzly and sizzly. They're all curly. If it wasn't getting enough light, then the leaves would not be curled, they'd be straight. And then if you just want a basic light, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can get a basic fixture. This is just a 2 bulb. This is, I believe, a T8 bulb, and it's just a shop light. So to save money, a shop light option is a really good option. I would go with a T5 if I could, and well, I do have T5s, and go with a 4-foot length. If you go with an odd length, either a 2-foot or a 4-foot, because the 3-foot, you'll find that the bulbs are much more expensive, and you can save some money by going with a cool light and a warm white, a cool white and a warm white light spectrum. So one is going to give you more of the red spectrums, and the other is going to give you more of the blue spectrums. So if you mix them together, you're going to have more of a full spectrum put out of light. So that'll be perfect for just a basic collection. As you can see, I've got a bunch of philodendrons under here. We got the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. We've got a Monstera adansonii. We've got some peperomia. They're perfectly happy in here, doing what they do. You want to keep the light closer to the plants when you're using this particular type of lamp, because the plants do better when they're really close. And with the fluorescents, they don't produce a lot of heat, so you're probably not going to burn your plants. And I've got the same fixture down here for my, as you can see, and you'll notice the different colors there. We've got the cool white, right here, and then the warm light is this one. So together they work together to make a full spectrum. And I've got the carnivorous plants here, the Nepenthes ventricosa, Maxima, and a bunch of others over in that corner, and the Miranda down here. And then over here, this is the, what is this one? This is the Briignite. Forgive me about this one. Is it the BN 1000, I think? And there should be a link for this one. I know this one that I have an Amazon link for. And this one's doing really well. It's very similar to the Mars Hydro, around the similar price point as well. And it has the full spectrum. And this is still rather new for me, but I've got a couple of plants. Sorry for the shakiness, my hand is getting tired holding the camera. We've got the different plants in here, like orchids, and we've got this chocolate aglaonema down here. And they're going to enjoy this. This one, the light needs to be about 12 inches to 18 inches away from a foliage plant or a flowering plant. If you're just starting seedlings, you can have them even farther away, but they have a lot more output than the fluorescent lights. So if you want a high output light, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're really good. This one is about 150 watts, I believe, of power. And then down here, I don't really like this one. It's got more of the red spectrum. Oh, it's all red. I have another one of these that's more of a full spectrum, and when I look down here, everything looks brown. because of the red. So that's not the case. It's just the color of the lights discoloring everything, and everything just looks dead. Well, this here I need to clean up. This is a Haworthia that needs to be loved a little bit. But yay, something to do a little bit later, maybe after this video. And let's keep moving. These ones here I've had for a while. This is a basic, I think these are T8s as well. I think that they're T8s. As you can see, I've got the different spectrums. I've got the white, or the cool, and the warm. And they're just alternating. And I like this one because it has the grid on it. I actually take some of my small hanging plants, mounted plants, and I'll hang them from the grid, and they can be closer to the light. And I really enjoy that. This one I'm growing some succulents under. Things are looking a little worse for wear at the moment, but they're doing okay. These are the lithops that I overwatered recently, but there's still some living ones in there. Oh God. They're so tricky as they start to get older, because when they're just babies, they want to have constant moisture. But then as they get a little bit bigger and they can store moisture, they don't want as much. And if you overwater them, they burst. So trial and error, always an adventure. And then down below here, this is the same. I've got the 4 light fixture. This one, oh, we've got a bulb that's out. I need to replace that bulb. This one has all warm lights. I think when I went to the store to purchase these, they only had the one spectrum, which was very frustrating. So it is what it is. It's better to have some light than no light, so that's what I have. And then nothing on this bottom shelf. I'm relying on ambient light to get these guys here. The Calathea, which is seen better days. It's had a big spider mite infestation. And when I spray it, it really plays with the foliage. So I'm watching for new growth to come out. As you can see, we've got some new growth here. So hopefully we'll have a refreshed plant very, very soon. I hope. And then just above where my little workspace, I have these. These are from Costco. They're not really grow lights. They're just like I think they're called under cabinet light. And these ones are fun. I can turn them on and off just by putting my hand underneath, and also I can adjust the brightness of the light just by pressing, or just by holding my hand under, and they're a lot of fun. I like these, but because of the very smooth floating shelf that they're attached to, they seem to be falling off. I need to find a good way to mount them. It came with some screws, but I don't think I can screw into this material very well. I believe it's hollow, so I don't want to mess it up. I'm using the 3M picture hangers. And then over here, we're almost done with the lights. This is the Jandcase light. I think it's the JC1000, and it's doing a beautiful job. And as you can see, it's the full spectrum light. These are what I prefer now. They really produce a lot of light, and the plants seem to respond really, really well to them. And it's just a matter of how much you're willing to pay for what you need. So a lot of these are along the similar price point, between $100 and $150 per light, but they're definitely worth it. And in here we've got a lot of my my aeroids growing under here. You'll notice that the light is kind of askew, maybe not with the way I'm holding the camera. But that was just because I wanted to diffuse the light off to the side. I'm noticing that the Jandcase has a weird flicker to it that you don't notice just with your eyes, but I notice it on camera. Where you'll notice over here, this is the Spider Farmer light. I think this is SP1000. Another really, really good light. It's got a similar makeup to the Jandcase, where it's the solid aluminum backing, so it's like a heat sink, so it gets quite warm. And again, I've got that under with a bunch of my aeroids under it, with the Monstera, the Philodendron tenue, which I think this is a Sharonia, I believe. Anyway, doesn't really matter. This is a light video, not a philodendron video. So then, yeah, this is the Spider Farmer light. Really enjoy this one. As you can see, it doesn't seem to have the same flickering effect on camera. So that's a nice thing. I don't know what causes the flickering. There you can see the flickering, and then here you don't. So I wonder what's going on there. And then this is the last light here. This is the Mars HIGROW TS600. So this is kind of the entry level of this particular type of light. And I really enjoy this. It's got a nice price point. It's around $100. And it does a fantastic job. It doesn't have a dimming feature for this particular model, but they might have a dimming feature now. I've had this for over a year. And I really enjoy it. I moved this around to a few places, and it does a really good job. So under there, again, I've got some aeroids. I underwatered this poor Thematophyllum sprucianum, or Philodendron goldii. Had some yellowing leaves, so it was because I underwatered it. I'm trying to play with my philodendrons. I seem to have been overwatering them, and they didn't like it. And now I'm trying to have them a little bit drier. It's a really, really fun game. Well, not really fun, but it's a game I'm playing right now with myself to find out what is making these plants happier or not. So yeah, it's been really interesting. And then this particular one, I'm not using it right now, but it's just a full spectrum. It's probably not going to show up very well. Let me try to move it in. It's a little clip light that I got from a friend. Thank you, Heather. I haven't turned this on yet, but it's just a full spectrum light that I'm going to use in with this Mars HIGROW light. Because it's kind of off to the side, I'm going to put my shingling plants in this aquarium so that they can grow and I don't know, have their height in here. I'm not sure why. But it'll also increase the humidity. It'll be a nice little ecosystem for them in here. And these little lights are going to be a full spectrum. I believe that they're kind of a blurple light. Let me turn it on. Yeah, you can see they're going to be more of that purpley hue. But with the ambient light around it, it's not going to be as offensive with the full spectrum lights lighting it up. So it'll actually give it a neat kind of vibe. So I think I'm going to be putting, like I said, the shingling plants, like the Monstera dubia, which is growing right here. I don't know whether you're able to see the leaves right here. And the Rhaphidophora cryptantha. I'm going to probably put that in there as well. And I've got the Rhaphidophora hei that I'm going to put in there as well. And any other small little plant that will fit. So anyway, that has been the Grow Light tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it didn't bore you too much. And again, I'm going to try to put the links to Amazon for as many of the lights as I can find. It's going to be difficult. Some of them I've had for years, and I didn't give you names for many of them, so it is what it is. So show me what you're using for grow lights. There's so many options out there, and what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa, because we all have different conditions. So anyway, until next time, you guys, happy growing!